When Port of Los Angeles high school sports teams became playoff eligible in 2011, one sports team at the San Pedro-based charter high school was relentless in their pursuit of glory, and that program is the girls' soccer team. After a 12-3 campaign in their debut season of 2011, which ended with a playoff loss to Los Angeles CES, the Polar Bears looked to up the ante in 2012 under head coach Jennifer Kelly. Pola carried a 15-0 record into the CIF-Los Angeles City Section Division III semifinals on February 28th, where Nikki Bonilla got the scoring off early against Fulton College Prep of Van Nuys. Bonilla added a second goal midway through the second half to increase the Polar Bears' advantage. The Jaguars' last hope at spoiling Port of LA's bid for a shutout was denied in the 73rd minute on this penalty kick save by Nicole Sierra, pitching the Polar Bears' first trip to a CIF-Los Angeles City Section final with a 2-0 victory over Fulton College Prep. In just the second year of the program, Port of LA girls soccer found themselves battling for a City Section Division III title on Saturday, March 3, 2012 against Los Angeles CES. In the 46th minute, Alyssa Bristol knotted things up at 1 with a goal, but Port of LA's championship hopes and a possible perfect season were dashed by the Unicorns with a 2-1 victory. Despite coming up one game short of a championship, the 2013 Polar Bears returned more experienced and even more confident under first-year head coach Javier Torres. Following up her all-city performance in 2012, Bristol had another outstanding season as the senior captain for the Polar Bears. Regardless if she was the finisher or the facilitator, Bristol poured in 11 goals and 14 assists for Pola. The assist number was exactly the same for Bonilla, who turned in an amazing performance in finishing with 29 goals. Behind this dynamic duo, Pola returned to the Division III semifinals on February 21st in a rematch with Fulton College Prep, a rematch the Polar Bears dominated from the get-go thanks to sensational sophomore Tiffy Torres' game-opening goal in the first 7 minutes. In the 13th minute, the tandem of Bonilla and Bristol worked to perfection as the two hooked up for a 2-0 lead, with Bristol reaping the benefits. In the closing minutes of the opening half, a corner kick from Bonilla led to sophomore Ariela Martinez guiding it in for a 3-0 Port of LA edge, which stayed that way until the midway point of the second half, where Torres hit one right between the eyes. That exciting long-distance shot from Torres was the final exclamation point on the Polar Bears' 4-1 victory over the Jaguars, clinching a second straight berth into the City Section Division III final, where they were once again face-to-face with Los Angeles CES on Saturday, March 2nd. When the Polar Bears returned to the Miguel Contreras Learning Complex in downtown Los Angeles, they hoped all signs pointed to them. But the defending champion Unicorns successfully defended their title with a 4-0 win. With more than half the roster returning for the 2014 season, Port of LA girls soccer came in even more determined, and junior Isabella Van Antwerp had one of the finest seasons to date, scoring 26 goals and dealing out 14 assists. Van Antwerp established herself as a go-to player, but the Polar Bears also added a blue chipper in freshman Anna Vidovich, as her tall frame provided an abundance of problems for Polar Bear opponents. Not to be outdone was the versatile all-around play from Torres. Now entering her junior season at midfielder, Torres evolved into Port of LA's pressure player, evidenced by a game-winning goal at St. Anthony of Long Beach. After a third straight unbeaten run in Crosstown League play and 2 more postseason wins, Port of LA girls soccer once again was eliminated by Los Angeles CES for the 4th straight year, this time in a Division III semifinal 1-0 loss. The year 2015 provided a lot of potential for Port of LA girls soccer, and one final shot at the title for the senior quartet of Martinez, Samantha Walker, Torres, and Van Antwerp. Torres became the unquestioned driving force for the Polar Bears, providing a 20-20 in goals and assists. A new soccer sensation in freshman forward Brianna Mancia burst onto the scene in high school for the first time, and she was dazzling and productive in helping Port of LA win a 5th straight crosstown league title. On January 10th in the Los Angeles Valley College Division II region tournament game against Los Angeles CES, this incredible last-minute goal from Walker forced a 1-1 deadlock, giving the Polar Bears plenty of confidence if they were to face the Unicorns again in a championship game. Thanks to this 35th minute goal from Torres off of a perfectly placed corner kick by Maddie Pepper, Port of LA girls soccer advanced to their 3rd City Section girls soccer final in 4 years with a 1-0 Division IV semifinal triumph over Legacy of Southgate. Saturday, March 7th, 2015 at Belmont High School saw the Polar Bears battle Los Angeles CES yet again. In the 16th minute of this title tilt, another corner kick opportunity from Pepper led to Mancia scoring a school record 30th goal for the season, which more importantly gave the Polar Bears a 1-0 lead, which only lasted for 11 more minutes when the Unicorns scored the tying goal. Then in overtime, the Unicorns put the Polar Bears away for the 5th straight season, winning 2-1 for the City Section Division IV title. But the Polar Bears made history by being accepted into the CIF Southern California Regional Playoffs, where they took on Malibu from the CIF Southern Section in the first round of the Division V Regionals. The Polar Bears battled valiantly, but came on the short end of a 1-0 loss. The 2016 Polar Bears came in a little younger, but still kept the faith of one day becoming CIF City Section champions. Mancia posted another sensational season with 32 goals, giving her 62 in 2 years. 2 new freshmen garnered plenty of attention at Pola, and Brittany Delgado and Giselle Mora, while standout defender and sophomore Christine Messner was eager to bounce back after missing all of her freshman season due to injury. Behind this new infusion of talent, the Polar Bears won a 6th straight Crosstown League championship despite 2 hard-fought battles from Harbor Teacher Prep, with the Polar Bears winning the second meeting 3-1 after a tie in the first meeting. On March 1st, the Polar Bears defeated League foe Fauché Learning Center a 3rd time by the score of 3-0 to book themselves a 4th CIF-LA City Section Finals appearance in 5 seasons. Saturday, March 5th, 2016 at Sotomayor High School in downtown Los Angeles was the day many Port of LA girls soccer fans expected their long suffering to finally be over when they battled Northridge Academy for the City Section Division IV crown. But that old familiar scenario of anxiety began to resurface for the Polar Bears, whose championship dreams are now at the mercy of a shootout to determine a winner. Mancia made the first penalty kick, but after 5 more rounds, the Pumas became the new City Section Division IV champions. The 2017 Polar Bears came in laser-focused with 3 sensational freshmen and goalie Caitlin Vidicic, midfielder Natalia Ninguez, and fabulous forward Keely Bales. All 3 of them played prohibitive roles in the December 23rd showdown with that old adversary, Los Angeles CES, in the San Pedro Lady Pirate Cup tournament. A 23rd minute goal from Iniguez put Port of LA on the board first. Then 14 minutes later, this stylish goal from Bales was the true turning point in Port of LA finally getting the better of the Unicorns with a 2-1 victory. Good fortune was starting to shine on the Polar Bear girls soccer program, especially on February 1st, 2017, when Vidicic signed her national letter of intent to play collegiate soccer at Stevens Institute of Technology. Then just 2 hours later, Vidicic put on her soccer gear and produced a double hat trick with 3 goals and 3 assists to spark Pola to a 10-1 drubbing of rival Harbor Teacher Prep. 1 week later, on February 8th at Los Angeles Southwest College, another convincing performance from Mancia, who provided a hat trick and assisting on a 4th goal, propelled Port of LA to an unprecedented 7th straight Crosstown League girls soccer title with a 6-0 victory over Middle College. From there, Port of LA entered into some serious business, competing in the City Section Division II playoffs. Seated second, they were still awarded a tough draw facing Marshall of Los Angeles. In the midway portion of the first half, Delgado's timely goal gave Pola the 1-0 lead. Then in the 64th minute of this tense first-round clash, this vintage free kick opportunity for Mancia provided her goal number 86 of a storied 4-year high school career, sealing the Polar Bears' 2-0 victory over the Barristers. Due to heavy rain during the week, Port of LA's home field advantage for the quarterfinals was taken away, but the Polar Bears remained undaunted as they battled Van Nuys. For the second straight postseason game, Delgado proved to be the spark plug by scoring the first goal in the 8th minute. Additional goals from Mancia, Vidovic, and Alejandro Garola staked Pola to a 4-0 lead in the second half, before this unreal diving save from Vidicic allowed the Polar Bears to escape with a 4-3 victory over the Wolves. On February 28th at the Toyota Soccer Complex in Torrance, the Polar Bears then battled San Fernando in the Division II semifinals, where in the middle portion of the first half, Vidovic took charge. Being in this position many times before, Pola was far from satisfied. Vidovic found Delgado for this critical goal to put the Polar Bears ahead 2-0 before the Tigers scored 3 minutes later. Then immediately after San Fernando's goal, Vidovic wasted no time in striking back. The Pola back line and Vidovic in protecting the net thwarted San Fernando's last charge, and the Polar Bears advanced to a 5th LA City Section championship game in 6 years when it bested the Tigers 3-1. Friday, March 3rd, 2017, on a clear afternoon at Los Angeles Valley College, saw Port of LA battle top-seeded and undefeated Grant for the Los Angeles City Section Division II Girls Soccer Championship. The Polar Bears came in extremely motivated against the Lancers, and what seemed to be a glorified road game, considering Grant High School is right next door to Los Angeles Valley College's Monarch Stadium. Going up against the Lancer team that also had to battle through adversity to get to this point, the Polar Bears were going all out to ensure that they would not let that elusive first championship slip through their hands. Grant scored the first goal in the 78th minute. Then the Polar Bears turned to Vidovic to provide the equalizer. This clutch pass from Garola found Vidovic with a breakaway opportunity after she broke through the defense for this one shining moment. Vidovic's 25th goal of 2017 came virtually with 20 seconds left in regulation, saving the Polar Bears from another case of heartbreak and sending the game into overtime. After 2 10-minute overtime periods and 1 5-minute sudden death overtime period, everyone looked up at the scoreboard to see that the game was still tied at 1. With just over 2 minutes left in the second 5-minute overtime period, the one big break that eluded Pola for so long finally came their way.
Pola has done it! They are the 2017 LA City Section Division II champions! Finally, they have done it! Unbelievable!
That emotionally uplifting finish finally gave Port of Los Angeles High School girls soccer their first CIF-Los Angeles City Section championship, outlasting Grant 2-1 for the Division II championship in a 4-overtime classic. Mora established herself as a Port of LA legend, while Mancia, Vidovic, and Missler were all named to the All-City Section Division II team. The Polar Bears finished the 2017 season 18-4. This relentless pursuit of glory provided a thrilling reminder that if you work hard enough, dreams will come true.